I think my favorite part about these podcast things is the B-roll.
Yeah, I know.
The B-roll gets everything.
I know.
Testing 1, 2. Hello, hello.
Fine. Everything is solid. Okay. Hi, Steph.
Hi.
So long.
Nice seeing you.
Hi.
Finally.
I know.
After you said you would see me after.
Hey, you know what? A lot of stuff happened in between that time period in which we last talked. So I started this podcast interview series too. And I'm not trying to be famous. Trust me, in my brief bout in the industry last year.
The industry?
Yeah, like doing some music video production and editing and stuff. I realized...
With Bia?
Bia. I realized that I like it and it's fun, but I like being able to do stuff on my own terms. Which is why I am doing this. And then I decided to start this because at the top of the year I was really sad. And then I self-isolated myself because I felt like the best way to figure out like how to be better was to just be, this sounds so like existential. I was like so sad that I needed to figure out who I was, pretty much. As everybody is, every hero's journey, hit rock bottom.
It's those 20s.
Hit rock bottom.
So at least you're doing it before 30.
I know.
Because then you're going to hit your 30s and then you can
hit
just
rock
pop
bottom
off.
again. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
No,
I know. It'll just be a different kind of thing. Like, what am I doing with my life? Maybe in my 30s. But I have a lot of friends that are in that part of their life. You know, I have a lot of older friends. So I fortunately get the benefit of having their life experiences. I get to experience them with them.
Kind of prepares you a little bit.
Yeah, it prepares me. And I feel like this was a way for me to talk to other people about life stuff. That's pretty much what this is. I'm an optimist. I think I consider myself a foolish optimist when I reflected on like the last year or two of my life. And I just always see the glass half full. And I always found the positive stuff in everything. So much so that I overlooked things that were just clearly bad.
Yeah. I remember that.
I want to talk to, okay. Well,
I'm the complimentary pessimist.
Yeah. Oh, so you're not a pessimist. You're more real. I would just consider you just hyper-realistic. You're just really realistic.
Yeah.
I was just so soft. Yeah. And sensitive.
But you needed that. You needed the softness. We all need a soft era. We all need a soft era to really, you know, get hurt. To get hurt. It hurts, but you gotta get hurt.
But I also realized that I did it to myself a lot. And for everybody watching, you're like, what are they talking about? I went through a breakup. One that I would say was like probably the most significant, and me having a new perspective on life and dating and love and friendships and stuff. It kind of like sealed everything for me. It helped me reshape how I viewed relationships and what it is that I actually want for myself and what I think I deserve. So yeah, it was really soft. And now I'm still soft. I mean, I've been living a soft girl life. I've been reading books.
That's the best life.
You just gave me my books back. Like, I've been reading books. I go to the movies by myself. I'm usually asleep by 10. I start yawning at 9 p.m.
You know what book I just got into?
What?
Blood Meridian.
What kind of book is that?
You know the guy that wrote The Road?
No, I don't.
It's like a book I guess everybody reads in high school. I never read it. I didn't even know the guy existed until I went down a YouTube rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And it's like a really disturbing book. I've gotten into really disturbing books.
Me too. Well, not like, what is that? Petunia, little girl. What's that book called?
Petunia?
There's a Lolita.
No.
Do you know about this book?
I don't know about Lolita.
I'm not going to talk about it.
No. Is that bad?
Yeah, it's just about like a little, it's like child, like
nastiness.
Yeah, with like an older man. I don't know why that book is allowed, but they made a movie out of it. So like, I'm like, that kind of disturbing?
No. I can't touch that.
Okay, what kind of
disturbing as in like reflective of like society.
Oh, I want to read it.
Right?
Okay.
It's like takes place like at the end of like the Mexican-American War.
Okay.
And like they were paying these people to, you know, like if you brought in scalps of like natives or like Mexicans, you're getting money as an American. Scalping people, doing all this crazy stuff. Follows this like kid, he's 14, and he's part of this gang that like does that, and they're like out in the wild west or whatever. And
wild west.
his main like, gang leader dude is just like the epitome of evil. He does things just because he wants to cause chaos.
Okay.
And he's like the personification, I guess, of like the most evil, vile things that humanity is capable of.
Okay.
So that, and like reflecting on like how the kid sees him as like initially as like somebody he looks up to, and then having a lot of chaos in his own life, to then seeing like,
Okay.
like this is not, I've seen the worst of the worst. That's not for me.
Yeah.
It's not for me. He moves on. I haven't finished it, but
That's interesting though, because that's a book, but it's still realistic. But then also how it's like our own lives.
yeah, you gotta get hurt. You gotta get hurt. You gotta have the soft hurt and pain to see, like, you know, this is not for me. I don't want this.
My mom used to always tell me that I was just really stubborn and hard-headed, and I would say yes.
Yeah.
And I might still be. But the problem is that
I agree.
it doesn't matter how much you lay it out for me. You can show me tangible evidence and examples and tell me, like, this happened to me. This is what will happen.
You
I can
have
almost
to feel
guarantee
it.
I have to. Why do I have to go through that type of hell? I don't understand. Now I don't. I've learned to set boundaries, and I learned to say no. And it sounds like something very simple that a lot of people already do, but then a lot of us don't.
It's hard, especially if you grew up like being like the eldest.
Pleasing. And the eldest.
The eldest, taking care of everybody. Even if your parents were like super great and like supportive, you still kind of had that like expectation, I guess,
Absolutely.
to be like, you'd be like, hey dad, like mom, what do you need? Like, are you guys good? Everything okay? Sister, are you good? Everything fine? Everybody good? Being the peacekeeper.
I still am that.
Exactly.
It didn't matter if I moved out.
That expectation, yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I moved out and
They'll
I came
call
back.
me and be
they
like,
still,
hey, I'm like, I don't live there.
imagine doing that and moving out and coming back.
Yeah, I can't.
I went back.
I love you, mom and dad. I really do. I love them. I just
My parents
really.
are fine.
You got me at like 2 weeks. Oh, you know what though? Actually, I don't want to say this on camera, but I will anyways. I remember how low I was at the top of the year. I went home. I think I lived with my parents for like maybe 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
I was just.
Sometimes you just need to go back.
I just needed to be grounded. And we didn't talk about anything in particular. I just needed like love from my family.
It's a familiarity.
I just needed to be with them.
It's like being back and being kind of like a kid again.
Yeah.
And just having your parents be there and be like, hey mom, can you make me a sandwich? Hey
And
mom,
just
can we get like some
We just hung out,
Yeah.
watched movies. I just laid on the couch.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
No worries about bills, no worries about other people or like doing the adult stuff. Like you can just go back home. And I think that's like a huge privilege, first of all, to be able to go home and find peace like that. Because
a lot of people don't.
a lot of people can't.
That's true.
A lot of times I can't, but it's still a familiarity. As hard as it is to go back home, and as hard as it is for me personally to be there and deal with all the craziness that happens, I still find myself going back home when I need a break.
Yeah.
Which is insane, because they drive me insane. They drive me crazy.
I don't know, realistically, if anybody. I think my parents drive me crazy, but it doesn't compare to the craziness that I endured last year or the year before that. It just doesn't.
No.
It's comfortable.
Yes. It's like
safe.
a comfortable crazy.
It's safe. Like, I love these people.
Exactly.
These are my people.
Like, as crazy as y'all are, as insane as you make me feel, and as rushed as I am, like, around all of you, I'd still rather go home.
Yeah, those are my people. They're on my team.
Yeah. Who am I gonna call if everything goes to shit? My mom.
Yeah.
As much as like I want to be like, I'm independent, I moved out, I don't need nobody, I can do this myself. No.
I mean, what did I do last year? Last year, mom.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah.
From
Having that familiarity, and I think like even if you create your own family unit, like outside of like the traditional like mom, dad, all that, having that community, that family feel, that like those people, your people, finding your people is like.
Well, how do you do that if you don't have like a traditional family? Like, what if you don't have mom and dad or some kind of guardians to go back to? Like, how do you find that kind of experience that we have?
It's hard. I will say it's hard not knowing, I guess, not having that foundation. of like,
You have to create your
these
own.
are the people that I can trust. These are people that like I grew up with. It's like, if you don't have that, yeah, it's going to be really, really hard to like find some kind of semblance of it. But I do think branching out is like the first step. Doing things that don't make you comfortable. Going places that you're like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm just gonna sit and see.
Yeah, you know, I've
See
done
what
that a lot.
happens. Yeah.
And you accidentally make friends that way. Just like when I started skating a couple years ago, I made friends, and that was never the plan. I just was doing a fun, girly, twirly thing.
Finding things that you're just like, I'm gonna give it a shot. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. Maybe I'll hate it. Maybe I'll never do this again. But you can always just say like, I tried it, it wasn't for me, or it was. And you find something beautiful.
I think what has sucked for me a lot, though, in establishing boundaries and also branching out, a lot of people have left my life that I really wasn't prepared for. From the beginning with my ex to just extra, like more trickling from that to like a close friend of mine that I've had for years. They just have fallen off. And I don't care.
You evolve.
That's what scares me. I'm like, am I a bad person for not being like, oh, the end of the world now that this person isn't in my life anymore? Because I used to be like that.
Yeah.
I don't feel
hurts
that way anymore.
It hurts for sure. It sucks. But you gotta also acknowledge that, you know, this person and I are not, it's not the same. We're not meshing like we used to.
You shouldn't have to force stuff.
Yeah. People grow, people move on, people find new friends, you know, you find different circles. And it is what it is. It's not like, you know, I'm saying like, oh, I hate you, like I don't want to talk to you ever again. Like, I wish you love, peace, and happiness. But it's just not in my life. It's okay.
Do I wish you peace? I don't know.
Do I wish you peace? I don't know about peace, but like
happiness.
You can be all right.
No, yeah. That's interesting.
No. And also I think trusting. Because like, yeah, I had my family and everything, but that whole like community feel wasn't there. It was like, you know, I gotta take care of you, you gotta take care of me. Very transactional, you know? But I feel like I had to learn to trust that other people wanted to be there for me. Learn to trust that other people wanted to get to know me. Other people are interested. Other people, you know, even if you think like, oh, I don't know, like I've never had friends like that, or I never had family like that, like it's not like for me, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Humans are social creatures.
I know.
You end up doing it without really thinking about it.
So I wonder how some people allow themselves to sit in the hell of being avoidant.
Yeah.
Because is it really that they are the most longing, the ones who long the most for the deep connection more than the rest of us? Because they're so avoidant, they're just that afraid.
As an avoidant person, yeah.
Oh, tell me more.
Yeah, I'm hella avoidant. My girlfriend will tell you that. Like, I've gotten better throughout the years, but my first instinct is always,
run.
I'm out. I'm out is not working for me.
You're
I'm
a
out.
hopeless romantic.
A little bit. But the minute I start finding things,
liar.
The minute I start finding things that just like stick in my head, that like, maybe not, I don't know, like, that feeling of like, I don't know, like maybe they'll just dip, like,
I'm shut down.
Oh,
you want to leave first?
I'm out. Yeah, like I'm so quick to be like, you know what? Do you think this is not working? I'm just gonna go.
That sounds more anxious. You sound like and I'm not therapist. I read the attached book, so I'm like, it's right on my brain.
She had me read the love language book.
Is it attached?
No, I say avoidant because a lot of times I don't like my feelings.
Have multiple things. It sounds like you're what they call like
mixed.
Yeah, there's another name, but that one, disorganized.
Yeah.
Because you're describing avoidant and anxious stuff at the same time. Like you're avoidant and therefore you just jump to conclusions and think this person must not like me, I'm gonna bounce.
Yeah.
Avoidant people are like, let me just not let them get that close. So that I don't ever have to deal with.
I used to be that at that point. So now I've kind of given myself a little more grace to be like, you know, you can allow people in. Okay. But now once someone's in, I'm like,
avoidant. So you hop from anxious to let's bounce back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm very scared of having something in my life that isn't serving me or that's doing me a disservice. I'm very scared of like, I don't know, I'm not seeing something, or maybe I'm like being too aware of something that's like
So look, in the time in which we have not communicated, I'm no longer single. And complete opposite experience of what it was before.
Oh, that's
So
great.
I went from fearing that this person wouldn't like me,
Yeah.
and that I wasn't doing enough,
No.
and that like I had to earn love and affection, and I was just there at his beck and call because I was convinced that by doing that he would like me more
would
and
like
want to
you.
be with me. To just focusing on myself and really thinking about what it is that I want in a relationship and what I have to offer and like what I deserve and like how I treat other people, and that I want to receive that back, and that I just want to I want to date my best friend.
Yes.
And I want to feel calm and comfortable. I don't want to feel like every
Yeah.
time I get a phone call, I want to feel like like who's that texted me, but not feel like I have to immediately respond because I know that we're going to be there for each other.
Yeah.
To knowing that I've had described that I'm an anxious person, and that I am working through it, and I just need to know that like you're actually interested in that. But I never had to say those things because he actually, like my boyfriend now, just reassures me. He just says stuff like that, like, hey, by the way,
You're great.
yeah, randomly.
Yeah.
It's just like the lamest thing. It's so cute. I'm just so happy and just like, well, cool. But I feel secure now. So I've moved from anxious to a more secure environment.
Yeah.
Because he's really secure.
Yeah, I really try to like not let those things come up. I try to, the minute I feel it, I'm going to my girlfriend. I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
Hey,
you feel
like-
like you can talk about
I'm
it.
like, hold up.
I'm having a moment.
I'm having a moment, and then she does the same. If she's like, I'm like, you know what? If you're having a moment, tell me. I don't care what it is. I don't care if the thoughts are like the worst thoughts in the world. Like, just tell me. Just tell me. Like, I don't take that. I'm not gonna take that personally. If your thoughts are telling you that like that I'm a piece of shit and that I'm horrible and that like I don't love you or whatever, tell me.
Thoughts aren't facts. Thoughts aren't facts.
We are not our thoughts.
I'm really happy that I
not
can
our
do
thoughts.
that. It's the fact that I can say, hey, just so you know, like, I'm just like, I don't know how to describe it. I can't put it into words, but I can just talk and know that I don't have to be afraid of what the answer will be. I'm not afraid to say anything at all.
Yeah.
I can talk about anything and everything all of the time, and I'm not afraid to just speak my mind, which is crazy because shouldn't you be? Aren't you like that with your friends?
Exactly.
So the fact that I was kind of with somebody who I never felt comfortable enough to express these things because I was a little delusional and thinking
Not the delusion.
that it would be more than it was. It's just wild. But in order to get there, I had to do work. And I was single for many months and not interested and just dodging bullets and like running. Like the waves were coming at me and I was like,
Running.
that's not how you run. This is like how you dance. But okay.
But yeah,
So-
no, that's like the ideal picture. As much as my thoughts want to tell me like, oh, like this is gonna work or this is gonna go bad or whatever, the fact that I can go to her and be like, hey, I'm having some weird ass thoughts right now, like what, and then she will just bounce back and be like, you know, I love you, I'm here for you, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, let them be, let them sit there, let those thoughts ruminate, but don't let it be fact, because you know it's not.
The fact that we're here now is what's so cool to me. I feel like, so I'm reading a book called The Midnight Library.
Ooh.
And it's like a philosophical type book, but in it talks about, you know, what would you change if you could like undo a lot of your regrets.
Ooh.
So this person gets to travel, and I'm not spoiling it or anything, but she pretty much gets to live different lives that she could have had she done different things. And it's awesome because in those new lives she gets to see, oh, maybe this actually wouldn't have been as great as I thought because it's a fantasy. You don't get to envision the darkness and the fantasies, right? Because all of our lives have things like that. We don't exist at really high, really low, because most of the time we live in somewhat of a gray area.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting now, because when I think about all of the lives that I lived, despite it just being one, allegedly, it feels like I've lived different lives. The fact that there's so many gaps in time where I'm like, I remember being with this person, I remember these being my best friends, and I remember I really thought that these people from college were going to be my homies for life. And now I don't even really remember them until like I see a picture or somebody brings them up again. It's very interesting to me to think, I hope I get to stay in this one.
Yeah.
Because I really like it here.
I did so much work to get to this point.
To stay here.
I want to be here and like, you know, experience everything that I can now. Because I feel like people say that all the time. They're like, if I could go back and change this or whatever, like, yeah, that'd be great. But the fact of the matter is, it happened.
I don't really have any regrets. Even falling on my face out there. Because after that, I not only got to see who my friends were,
Yeah.
I also got to kind of speed up the process of getting my heart broken officially.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Thank
That was
you.
a very eye-opening day.
Thanks.
That was a very eye-opening day. I think for all of us, especially you. But
well, literally eye-opening.
yeah. Oh my God. Not the scar.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very eye-opening. I feel like I also I don't like thinking in regrets, like that regret mindset, because I can't go back. You can't go back. It is what it is, and everything is a lesson. Everything's something you can learn from.
But it is so hard to
it's a
see
pain,
those.
yes.
Especially right after
It
something
hurts.
happens.
It hurts. You remember that phone call I made to you?
Yeah. Oof.
That shit hurts.
We've really been through shit together.
It's scary.
We really,
It's scary. We were there for each other, I think, at the peak of the worst of the shit.
yeah.
And now we're doing great, and we hardly see each other, which I think is a good thing. It's good. I think it's good.
I think that is good.
You know, because we're both doing
We're like,
good.
yeah, I'm good.
We're
You're
doing
good. Okay.
Yeah, like we're doing our shit, like going about life, like, you know, doing things and everything. But every time we come back, it's all love.
You know what? I wonder if that's kind of a test, not a test of friendship, but I think about all the other podcasts that I watch, and I don't watch reality TV, but you see people doing what we're doing, talking. And I wonder if the ones who are talking about, like Jay Shetty, they're talking about really Selena Gomez, Jay Shetty.
Who's Jay Shetty?
You don't know who that guy is? He was like gonna be what are they called? Not a Buddhist. Dang it.
Monk?
A monk. Yeah, he was gonna be a monk. I promise you know this guy. I promise you know who he is. I'm gonna show you. He has a podcast about pretty much like positive self-talk and like how to be a good person. I know you've seen this person before.
Oh!
Is the most important choice you'll ever make in your life. And it's a choice because the way you feel about yourself is based on the thoughts you choose to believe about yourself.
Okay.
Thoughts.
So, yeah. So it's interesting
Thoughts.
because people like him, I wonder if he goes and does his podcast and then he really actually lives a very chill life. He's not on the phone with all of his friends, complaining and crying about stuff and causing chaos and
that's
outside and like doing all of the things that are actually counterproductive to having a really calm, happy
Life.
Like, because
just
now
chill.
I'm having that and I'm not really seeing my friends and I'm in my place by myself most of the time. I think I can count like on one hand how many people have been in my home this year, and it's almost June. And it's not that I'm avoiding people. I actually am just happy with myself. I'm just happy with my own company.
Like if you hit me up and you're like, hey, you want to hang out? Then
Okay.
Sure. We'll see. We got time. If I don't have time, like, oh, okay, we'll try again next time.
I wonder if before it was more like we were distracting ourselves.
I felt like I was.
With people and things.
I know that I do that. I know that when I have things that I don't want to focus on, if I'm going through a really rough time, I'm out all the time.
Okay.
I'm never sitting down in silence. I'm never at home reading a book. I'm never at home playing like little video games or nothing. Like I'm out and about.
Okay.
I'm with people. I'm trying to meet new people. I'm
trying to spend time
doing other things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to use the time. I'm not trying to like actually sit with myself.
Okay.
And the days that I actually can do that, I feel like it's giving my body rest, like actual rest.
I agree with you. And at the top of the year, so I pretty much like went to a bar, had 4 lemon drop shots, and the rest of it is history. Okay? Like right before New Year's. Like, I don't know, like around like the 29th-ish of
Good
December.
Lord.
Okay? So that was my like rock bottom moment, which is crazy because that's what rock bottom was. But okay. Hey. That's what rock bottom was for me. And then...
Dang, that's not bad.
It's not bad at
That's
all.
not too bad. It
But
could've-
I just beat myself up about it. And I was crying. It was like really bad. The reality is that what I know now is that I wasn't crying because I was that intoxicated. I was crying because all of the feelings that I'd had pent up about my whole life, who I was dating, I guess I'll say that, and the friends that I was surrounding myself with, and how I was spending my time and where I was in my life, I was just so unhappy. And I got to that point, and then I guess alcohol is what it did to like let it out of me.
Yeah.
So things kind of changed after that, and you know, as you say, I'm never drinking again. I kind of really didn't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am sober, not drinking, not smoking. Like I am just really just one with me, and I forced myself to go through the crying that I was crying like daily, and then I was crying weekly, and then I was crying maybe a couple times a month. And as I was crying, I would talk to myself through it. I recorded some of it too, so that I could look back and say, look at where you were. I told you you would get past this. You just have to actually allow yourself to feel and regulate your thoughts and say, why am I feeling sad like this, and what is it that I can do to change it, as opposed to just being like, I feel sad. Okay.
That's not like feeling the feeling.
Exactly.
What do they say? It's like intellectualizing the feeling.
I used to, well, obviously, I used
You're
to
saying
feel
like
that.
you're saying your feelings, but you're not
feeling them.
feeling it. You're just saying like, oh, I feel bad today. It's like, okay, acknowledgement is great. That's the first step. But now we gotta do the other. We gotta do the work.
It's like, as a black person, or I guess as people of color, that's something that we have grown accustomed to do. As being like the most oppressed groups, we aren't as allowed to.
I can have a bad day. I'm trying to catch up.
Exactly.
I cannot have a bad day.
So I don't have that opportunity to cry and sit around and actually feel upset. So we don't really get the opportunity to have soft lives.
Yeah.
So
But giving yourself that grace is so important.
So that's what I've been doing. I've been having a soft life, and I'm allowing myself to feel stuff. And in doing so, now I know, I believe at this point, I know who I am and what I like, and the people around me, I acknowledge their energy. And it sounds so funny to say energy so freely now, but just like the vibe or how you feel when somebody's near you. I'm like, never mind, I want to go home.
Yeah.
Or wow, this is so much fun.
Hi.
You know? And I like that.
I love this vibe.
But in order to get here, thank goodness, I feel like I crossed the threshold.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard as hell.
Bruh, that healing journey is hell.
It's hard as hell. And to think that a lot of people don't do it.
But I did it
way later.
You know, I didn't either. I didn't know it was going to be like this. I was so afraid of what was in the unknown.
Yeah. Because you don't know how you're going to come out of it. You don't know if it's going to even get better.
No.
You're like, is this even going to work?
I think maybe we live in scarcity mindset too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not just physical.
Yeah.
The scarcity mindset is not just physical. It's like, and I also felt like if I was taking those times to be soft and like with myself and, you know, do the work, it felt like I was missing out on something else. I was like, why am I spending my time moping and crying and doing all this when I could be doing something else? But it's also like, I can't be doing those other things if I don't mope and cry right now.
Yeah.
If I'm not taking the time right now to mope and cry and be upset and figure out what's going on in here, I'm not even gonna have a good time doing all this other stuff.
I go out and my mind is clear. Like,
no thoughts.
I go out and I'm like, oh,
no
okay,
thoughts.
person to talk to, hi. And then genuinely, so what do you do? Like, oh, cool, where'd you get that shirt? Oh, awesome, what books have you read? And I'm actually taking and absorbing all this information from these people. It's no longer just, okay, anyway, so like I'm just kind of existing in this space because I'm supposed to be doing this, right? And I don't really feel like being here.
Yeah.
I actually get to have a real conversation and think, oh, yeah, I just caught up with a friend. Tight.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's nice to feel like there's not all this other stuff going on. Actually being in the moment.
Yeah.
Just talking about stuff.
It's funny because this almost reminds me of what it used to feel like when I was in college, and we would have like existential doom and dread conversations, and to other people it just sounds like we're like, what are you talking about? It just sounds like fluffy stuff. This feels like that fluffy stuff again. Because I heard other people talk about this before.
Yeah.
But you're boring.
Yeah.
You go to sleep at 9?
You're not going out
You
till
don't
2 in the
go
morning?
outside?
What?
So, like, what is the fun in your
It's not.
life?
I have found peace. That's the fun in my life.
Yeah.
It's peace.
That's
It's
what
just doing what you feel good about. Not doing things that you feel like you have to do.
Yeah.
Or feeling like, oh, I'm 25. Like, I got to be out doing this and this and this. It's like, no. Like, you got to be out doing what you want to do. If
Yeah.
going out is your thing, go out. Go shake ass and pop whatever. And
You gotta shake your ass at least once a day for longevity in life. Just once a day.
Once a day. One ass shake a day.
One ass shake.
Keep the doctor away. Coming from a
Actually,
future
though.
nurse.
Yeah. There you go. You heard it right here.
It's in the books.
But yeah, I mean, I have even reduced my social media time without trying. Because I don't want to. I don't think about wanting to be on it because I'm not seeking attention anymore.
Yeah, it's just
I don't
Like,
need all that stimuli.
I don't really want anyone to know what I'm doing. I don't want anyone to know where I'm at.
I don't know why I used to feel like, oh, at T-Pop, gotta post. Oh, look at this new thing I made. Look at this.
doing this podcast right now.
It feels so weird. That I'll do. It feels so weird to post a selfie because I'm like, who am I posting that for?
Yeah.
I saw myself today.
I mean,
I saw what I looked
I like
like.
posting selfies a lot of the times because when I look, a lot of it was in my like, transition journey. I don't know if it's considered a transition journey. I don't
Okay.
know. But
Yeah.
being non-binary, I like looking back at photos from before I had my top surgery. I like looking back at photos when and I'll see photos. My memory is so bad. My memory is really, really bad.
You repress stuff?
No, it's just,
Okay.
it just disappears.
Drugs.
Like good thing. I'm not even on drugs like that.
No drugs.
But like even good things like that happen, like, or conversations that I have, like all of a sudden they're gone the next day.
The next day?
Yeah.
We got this on
The
camera.
next hour, it's
You'll
gone.
remember this one.
Oh yeah, this one, yeah. But I won't remember the details. But so taking photos and
Okay.
having those physical memories brings everything back.
So what's funny about that is the idea that memories are kind of like fantasies and that you can't really prove any part of them, which is scary because you can take images, but they don't really exist in your brain until the images are there again. So then you create your own experience based on the images or the videos that you've seen, but you don't actually remember the true memory. Yeah, this is what happens when you spend a lot of time alone.
But you don't remember the true memory?
No, we don't.
Like at all?
No. Memories are like they're just not tangible evidence. They're just thoughts in your brain. They're not tangible. They can be influenced by stuff. They can be influenced by if somebody had rubbed you the wrong way. And I don't know how to describe this. I
think I get what you're feeling. I think I get what you're saying.
can't
It's
do
that
it.
psychobio coming back.
Gang.
I think I get what you're saying, that it's not like, you're not going to remember it like verbatim.
No, not as it was. The pictures
as it
help.
was.
The
They
pictures help.
But it's not an exact representation of what was going on.
Yeah.
that what you're-
Yeah, I mean, think about like when you were a kid. You don't remember 9/11, you youth.
I remember 9/11.
No, you can't.
I don't remember anything actually from my childhood. And that's on trauma.
It's crazy. I wouldn't expect you to remember that far back if you can't remember yesterday.
Yeah, I can't remember anything from my childhood. I'm kidding. I don't know. What do you... 9/11?
I really don't
What?
remember a lot to be. Well, I do. Well, they're all videos, so I don't know. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying that you have a memory, and then you see the video of the memory. For me, I have a memory in my brain, and then I watch the video of it, and it can be like, oh, I forgot that happened in the video. of something. Let's say like we were outside. Like think about prom.
Okay.
In college.
Prom?
Prom.
I remember prom.
Do you really remember it? Also, this is sad.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, unfortunately I've never blacked out. You know, that sucks.
That really no. Actually, I'd rather
brown
not.
out, as
I'd
they
rather
call
not.
it.
I'd rather not black out. I've blacked out before, and that is the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. Don't recommend it.
It's just weird to think that there's a true lapse in time that isn't sleep, where you were out there wilding and doing stuff. But this is why I think about simulation theory, because I don't know if I believe the things that people tell me to be true about what I did during that time. Like maybe I just got unplugged for a moment, and then they put me back in.
Even if someone else saw it,
Yeah, because everybody else is an NPC.
I ain't no NPC.
You don't believe people are NPCs?
I believe people are NPCs,
Okay,
but
tell me
I ain't no
why.
NPC.
Tell me about that. Tell me about that. Why do you think they're NPCs?
It's I don't know how to describe it besides it's like a vibe.
Okay.
It's like you meet people or you see people and it just feels like they're just going through life.
Okay.
No question, no opinion, or like,
Are they that, or are they just calm like we are now?
but I still question things.
Yeah, but to other people who are just hanging out, like everybody at this coffee shop, they kind of seem like NPCs right now.
I guess it's a main character
Yeah.
feel.
That's
It's like you think everyone else is an NPC because you think you're the main character.
exactly, and I think we are.
Yeah, I'd love to be the main character. No, actually, no, I wouldn't. I would
You
not.
are though.
I would not like to be.
You are the main character in your life.
in my life.
Exactly. So it doesn't. We're all the main character, which is why I think we're all just kind of in like a
Simulation.
simulation. Yeah. Somebody. I don't know if anybody is playing me. Or
If you
I
are
have-
playing me, make some good decisions, please.
I'm like, what's a good decision? Are there any good decisions in life? This is when I start to lose my shit and I go to bed. Because I'm like,
Yeah, I don't think this hard.
I do.
I don't think this hard. I don't know. I've reached a point where existential things, I'm just like, you know what?
Never mind.
I'm good. Because I know I will go down that rabbit hole of like, am I real? Is everything real? Is this not? It's not real.
It's fun.
Then what does it matter?
It's fun.
That point I like.
It's fun to do it, to know that you get to stop doing it. But the people that I know who are true philosophers, I think it's hell for them. I think it's hell because they're broken, and then they just can't ever turn it off because their brain is always like, well,
None of this matters.
everything is made up of the same stuff. It's all atoms. None of this really matters. What is the point of anything? I'm just going to do stuff because I want to do it, but then I don't really have to do it because who cares about it? I just
What's
imagine
the
it would
point
be
of
eternal
finding
hell.
meaning in life if I'm gonna
there's no
die?
meaning- Yeah.
Nah, I don't like that kind of thinking. I really don't. I know I would go down that rabbit hole if I really thought about those things, but I don't like to do that just because I know it won't end up well.
Yeah, I think I turned it off. I used to really do it a lot, like how we touched it now.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, well, anywho, so let's just kind of lighten it up because I used to do it and I would go down forever.
I think partially it's good to understand that, you know, not everything we do in this life is so concrete. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good thing to take away from that, is that, you know, not everything is going to be like the end of the world. Not everything is going to define your life forever. You know, like every little decision you make is not going to like, you know, create like this giant like issue for you. It's a moment in time.
In college, it felt like that though.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I had no real understanding of life at all at that point. Even though I thought college was like peak life, that's what I thought. Back then, it felt like we made it. Because we're in college now. We're grown. We're doing the thing that I've been told for the past 12 years I needed to go do. Now I'm here in this.
I feel like I haven't peaked yet.
I haven't peaked, but I definitely felt like that in college. In college, I felt like this. I'm first gen, you know, like I'm from a small
It's
town.
something new. You're not
Like,
used.
this is the thing you go do.
Yeah, you go.
Then
to
you
college.
become a real adult, and then you know I
And I
just
think that's
graduated, and it just kept going.
Yeah, it just doesn't stop. And I think that's the good thing about like that kind of like everything's a simulation talk, is that life doesn't end right now.
No, maybe it does. The book that I'm reading, you just zone out and then you're somebody else. As in, you know those moments when you lose your train of thought?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
Like every
single time that you do that, somebody else was you for that whole period of time before. Yeah, so that's why my brain's kind of thinking, like, oh, interesting. So you, wherever you are in your root life, like let's assume this is our root life.
Okay.
Then we get to go travel in other versions of us in the multiverse.
And then we come back.
You jump into those real versions of you. You don't live simultaneously with them. You are in that other version of you. And then you come back to your root life. So every other version of you that exists somewhere else in the multiverse has a lapse in time where they're like, what was I talking about? Anyways, so yeah, tomorrow we're
crazy.
Yeah, so yeah.
That's wild.
That's why I'm like, well, maybe it was the end of your life sometimes.
And you just have to start a new one.
Yeah.
In a new multiverse.
And this is why I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. It doesn't really matter that much because at the end of the day, I'll allegedly never know.
Yeah. I do think sometimes though, like when I make a decision, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this decision in another universe, I made that decision.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like I'm splitting every time I make a decision.
Absolutely.
Like I'm like, I'm gonna go this way, but you know.
Some significant things. I think about it too. Like you reflect on big decisions that you've made now.
Yeah.
I think about, so my parents did not want me to move to LA at all.
Oh wow.
And I really wanted to live here. I was so convinced that I needed to live here, especially for work. And there was this apartment in Hollywood that I was gonna get. And it was a studio and it was kind of jank. It really was. But I was so desperate and I needed to move out of my other apartment, so I was just gonna do it. And my mom was telling me no. So I didn't move there. And then there's this other place that had a dividing wall in it. It just was like, it was a one-bed apartment, but the thing that separated it to make it a one-bed was just this blinds that would go in between. Very LA in that area of LA.
Oh, hell.
And I was gonna move
That's what
there
we got out here.
without parking.
We don't have walls, we have blinds.
We have blinds that make it a one-bedroom. Is crazy. And I think about, wow, I really almost moved here. That was really the plan. What would my life be like? Who would my friends be if I moved into that apartment? If all of my friends from my hometown moved me into that and not into the one that I'm currently in? All of my friends, before you moved, lived up here. I live close to work. The commute is wonderful. I was always close to gigs and stuff when I was on sets. What would my life be like? Because another version of me moved there.
Yeah.
Another version of me is in medical school.
Yeah.
Another version of me is still battling a situationship.
Another version of me is dead.
Another version of me is dead. Another version of me doesn't have this eye injury that I have forever. Not that one, the other one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the tennis injury. Yeah. Another version of like it's just interesting to think about all the different courses of life that you could have taken.
Yeah.
Might still take.
Yeah. It kind of makes the decisions not as finite.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Because I don't like thinking of every decision I make as being like, well, that's it.
I think that has helped with going through like just dealing with healing too, is saying, well, I mean, if it's supposed to work out, it will in some capacity, in whatever way. This is just how things are going to go.
Oh, yeah.
You can. I feel like you can influence life to some extent, but that things just kind of the pendulum always falls somewhere back in the middle.
I firmly believe in manifestation.
Yeah.
It's what you put out into the universe. You're going to get that back.
Hey, I said I wanted a partner who was just like me, and he's like me times 2.
My girlfriend will tell you, she manifested me to a T. To a T.
How? What did she say she wanted?
She said she wanted, not just looks.
Oh.
Not just looks. She had very specific guidelines for the universe. She said, I'm not going to settle for anything less than this. And it was someone who valued her, understood her, listened, wanted to grow with her, heal with her, and more of a someone like a life partner. That's basically what she
at the top of the year, my therapist said, Santera, you need to think of dating and partnership as like a job, like a job description. So you are just out here flailing in the wind, just letting whoever pops onto you to latch on, and you don't have any values, you have no rules, you have no guidelines. You're just like hoping. You just want somebody to figure it out for you. You're not really doing this strategically, like as you should. You're just kind of going through the motions. I need you to write down your list of what you want, what you like, and then look at it. I wrote the stupid list at the top of the year, and I ignored it. Like, I didn't think about it anymore.
Yeah.
But I did go through the self-reflective stuff.
It still makes you think about it.
And so, I think I want to say, like, a couple weeks ago, I told my boyfriend, I'm like, you know what's really funny is that I looked at this list that my therapist made me write, and you kind of check off every single thing I wrote down. And they're not stupid stuff like you do as a kid, like, he's got to be smart and 6'7", and, like, he's got to buy me ice cream every day. It's not like that. It's like what your girlfriend said. It's like somebody who values me, somebody who treats me the way that I treat them, somebody who makes it known that they want to be with me, and they, like, want, I don't know, like, real partnership, and they're kind, not nice, but they're kind. It did say like 6'5", but it's okay.
I know, she also had those very like physical
That was the only
things.
one on there. The
Yeah.
only one.
She was like, they have to be tall and like
Tall is
masculine-ish and
Okay.
like all this other like, superficial stuff.
I said I would like somebody cuddly, like somebody who would like, somebody affectionate, somebody.
But it puts into perspective, like that's what you start looking for, even subconsciously, even if you're not like actively being like, oh, they have to.
They're like, okay,
no,
they have the. Okay, let me talk to you. No, you're like, oh, interesting. You're kind.
Yeah.
So like, what do you like to? Oh.
Okay. Like, oh, let's start checking. Okay.
Hey, you kind of.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and it makes it a lot easier.
It does, because then the people who aren't meeting that stuff for you just don't even think about them that way at all. You don't really have to waste your time because it just
You're right,
it's kind of subconscious. Before it was like anybody shoot a finna shoot.
I'll take what I can get.
I'll take anybody who shoots. That's not true at all. I actually kind of dodged everybody. But,
I was like,
but
you're talking to a serial dater,
right?
I had issues.
I didn't forget
issues.
this. I knew this about you.
Yeah,
I used to say that you were just like a lover, like you just are addicted to love.
I am. I do really like to love people, and I do really feel like when I meet someone, I'm like, I can love you. I can love you. I can show you what it is to love.
I can show you the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
and you do.
I try, but it's very draining, and then I end up not in great situations.
Because if they don't do it back, it's kind of like what I was saying I was doing. I was thinking, okay, the harder I love you, the more you'll love me too, right?
Because it's great. I'm great.
Showing you.
Because I'm so great.
It's like, no, why are you doing all that?
Yeah.
I just kind of
Why are you wasting your time?
Yeah, you gotta find people who do. They just naturally do the things that you want to do.
Yeah. Or even if it's not natural, they're willing to try.
Sure. I know. You know what? So, like, I want to say, like, for the most part, every relationship that I've been in, I can naturally get interested in whatever it is that they would like. Like, one of actually not him. I'm like, my first boyfriend.
First boyfriend?
I was in college.
I had a boyfriend once.
That's it. Anyway, I liked anime. I tried really hard, but I just, listen, anime is not for me. I respect it. Like, I think it's a cool artistic thing.
I respect it.
I think it's awesome. It's in the same way where people like reality TV. That's also not for me, but I recognize why people like it. If you don't have drama in your life, it's so much easier to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like,
it's great. That's all my girlfriend
You
do.
turn it off. Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
But, so, like, I had let myself be interested in anime, and I let myself be interested in film, but now I'm really interested in film, which kind of sucks. Actually, doesn't. I love it.
No,
I know so much more now. I was, like, really interested in psychology, and, like, all of these, whatever their hobby thing was, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot. We'll see what it is. And if it's not for me, it's not for me. But I'm glad you love it.
Now, if it's not for me, I'll do stuff to encourage that, like, they do that.
they do it.
But I don't need to be a part of it.
No.
That was
And
my
that's okay.
problem. I would attach so hard that I'm like, okay, so if you like movies, then I need to make sure that I go to movies too with you, and like I need to go to all these things, or like I need to make sure that I watch anime and I read all these anime books on my own time because I need to make sure I can talk to you about it. Like what?
No. It's like, you know, I love that you have that. And I love that you're your own person and that you're independent in that way. And I want you to explore it all. I want you to get it all.
Go do that.
Go do it. Go get it. Go whatever. Like, enjoy it.
It's also important because you need to have something that's for you, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just, I don't want to be codependent.
I can't do
Go
that.
hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
I skate. Do not try and learn to be a skater because I am skating.
Get out of here. This is mine.
Please
This
don't.
is my space.
Please, like if you want to roll around with me, that's cool. But just know when I go to the rink, I'm leaving you.
Yeah.
I love you.
That's
but
why
I am not staying beside you.
That's why I'm a big fan of what they call parallel play. Have you heard of that? It's very big in the neurodivergent community. Shout out to all my neurodivergents.
Dang.
But it's like
play.
it's like you're both doing your own thing. Let's say I'm reading my book, you're painting something or watching your show, whatever that you like, and we're just in the same room together.
That's not special for neurodivergence, unless I am one. And in that moment,
We learned something today.
she knew she fucked up. Whew, it's a little hot in here.
It's a thing.
Okay, so yeah, wait, hold on. What are these people saying to me?
I'm not neurodivergent.
I mean, you know, the thing is,
I think we're all a little neurodivergent in a way.
it's like when you hang out, like I do this with my friend, like one of my best friends, Violet, she'll come over and I'm editing videos and she's like designing stuff.
Yeah.
And we're
We used to
hanging
do
out in
that.
the same place. Yeah,
We
we
used to
did
do
that too. We're just hanging out together, but we're just enjoying each other's company without having to do the exact same thing.
A lot of people don't do that.
I don't understand what that means.
They have to be doing the same thing.
What?
Okay, so let's say, okay, listen. So my sister, she went she went out with a friend or something. They went to lunch. Her friend's eating, doing her thing. My sister was there studying, doing her thing. They didn't even like really talk. She tells my mom that, and my mom was like, "Did you eat too?" She's like, "No, I wasn't hungry. Like, why do I have to do the same thing that she's doing?" And she was like, "You didn't eat? Did you have something to drink?" And she's like, "No, I was just studying there. I was just keeping her company. We were just in each other's company."
You're coexisting.
My mom could not understand that. She could not
Okay.
understand it.
I think my mom is like that, actually.
I don't know if it's an older, maybe it's an older
I was
generation
gonna say
thing.
maybe it's that.
I don't know.
You just want to be with each other, because when I'm home with my mom, like I'm trying to think, we can be in the same place, like she can be on her computer and I'll sit on like her couch and be on my computer too, but we don't really end up doing two separate things. We'll just end up talking. If I'm sitting there editing, eventually she'll leave because we're not doing a thing simultaneously, or I'm editing but she's still telling me all the stuff that she's doing shopping, so I'm still having to be engaged
still
in that
engaging
conversation,
together.
but I am trying to do a different thing, so we're not doing different things, not really.
You're not
My
just
sister and I
existing.
we can exist together.
Yeah.
I can be on her bed doing stuff and she'll just be on her computer.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's true.
Think about it.
Ooh.
Think about it.
That's
Can
a
you
good
just
one to think
exist with
about.
people around you and not talk to them? Or show them what you're doing? Or even like, it's kind of like you're in separate rooms, but in the same room.
You know what I love, and this might be because the pandemic forced us to be all virtual with each other, but I really like when I can just be on FaceTime for a while and forget I'm on FaceTime with somebody. Like
Yeah.
that will happen to me. I'll start cooking and then the other person will start like
That's the
doing
same.
their hair.
That's the same feeling.
Maybe you don't might be right about the neurodivergent thing then.
A lot of people with ADHD do that because
Yeah.
it's like if
Multiple
it's
stimuli helps me focus.
multiple stimuli. It's the pressure feeling of like, oh, someone's with me, someone's watching me, I gotta like do this. It gives you more of like, I gotta focus. Instead of just being by yourself, trying to make yourself focus. Like, it's not easy for us to do that. At least for me. If I'm sitting by myself,
I'm not. That's why editing is so hard for me right now, because if there's nobody there, I'm like, that was okay. Anyway,
I gotta have the TV on. I gotta have music in the background. I gotta have the lights changing color. I gotta get up and move around a little bit.
Listen, I've felt like I've had ADHD for at least like 6 years, and I just haven't gotten officially diagnosed, because I think they're just gonna, I'll just have a sticker to say it.
I know. It's like, this is just how I live.
I just do. I use ADHD tips.
Yeah.
to make this easier for me. My friends who have been officially diagnosed have told me stuff to do, and I'm like, that's
really helpful.
Really works.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if we all got ADHD. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know.
I would love to do some research. Ugh, sounds like college. I would love to do some research and find out if truly the like zillennial generation and below, maybe even millennials, have a higher amount
Incidence
of ADHD, because we grew up with the internet, and then short form content has reduced our attention span. Because my mom will swipe through stuff on Instagram and whatever, but then she doesn't care.
I think it's also like more awareness in like how I feel like our parents were just like, I'm gonna do it regardless of how hard it is or how difficult or whatever. I have to figure it out, and I'm gonna just do it. They just like force it. Like my parents, they just force it. Even if it's hard or difficult or there's an easier way to do it, they're gonna do it by force.
Straight through, it doesn't matter.
But I have to find a way to make it work for me.
Me too.
I am not gonna suffer.
Yeah, that's why I think we're so lazy.
Yeah.
And that we quit everything.
No.
Because this is my whole life. Why do I have to do stuff that sucks if I really hate it here? Just because I could potentially finish this whole task.
Yeah, like, no.
That makes sense.
I don't have to live like that. So maybe that awareness too brings out more acceptance, more. That's why they say like, oh, everybody's gay now, everybody's trans.
I see.
No, you're just accepting it a lot more, so people want to come out a lot more.
I see.
And so it seems like, oh my God, everybody's there. No, you know what happened? AIDS killed everybody.
Oh shit.
We would have a lot more people if that didn't happen. So now the generations that are like, oh my God, everybody's just gay. No, it's the acceptance. It's the like awareness.
That makes sense now. Now I'm processing that. Yeah.
You know? So I don't know what it is. I don't know the labels. I don't like to self-diagnose, all that stuff. But what works for you, regardless of the reason.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, you just kind of learn to live the life that you have to live.
And accommodating for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, I told one of my friends this before, but in the same way where if you have ADHD, you learn to kind of navigate that differently than other people.
Yeah.
If you've lived in a community in which you didn't have the ability to take a bunch of AP classes, or there weren't a lot of sports and extracurricular activities, then you just kind of navigate your life around that fact. Like, for example, when you go to college.
Yeah.
You don't know what you didn't have.
Yeah.
And you don't really know that I don't know, that's not oppression, but you don't know that you're like inhibited.
That you were missing something.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you don't know what there was to miss, because you didn't have it in the first place.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what it's like to not have a deficit of attention, because this is what my life is.
Yeah. Like, I've never been able to pay attention.
I guess, but why? You know what hyper focuses me? What? I don't know, I can't think. I lost my train of thought.
Other life.
Yeah.
Another universe.
Sometimes I can hyper focus when I have, like you said, TV and music on, and maybe some other form of like sound happening somewhere else, and a light somewhere in the back. I just need multiple stimuli happening simultaneously so that I can focus.
Yeah. My mom, on the other hand, she needs complete silence.
No, I can't do that.
Complete silence.
It's too loud.
She can't focus, she can't read if it's not silent. Like in a library, like dead silent. And I'm like, I can't. Like, I go to the library and I'll turn on like brown noise. I'll turn on like something. I know it can't be with words if I'm reading, because that doesn't work. Yeah. Like brain wise, but you know, like just having that extra, like I can't just sit there in silence and try and read. I can do it for maybe like 2 minutes. And then it's over. It's over. I'm on my phone. I'm trying to play video games. I'm trying to do.
Not 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And learning to limit yourself too. Because we take on a lot of shit.
This is so fun. Just existing is fun now.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Trying new things.
I just fucking flail around and just do stuff when I feel like doing stuff.
Yeah. Hobbies. All these hobbies that I picked up over the years finally came in handy. All these random hobbies that I picked up.
Yeah. It's nice that I've come here. Like, now I just get to make, you know, stuff because I want to, right? Like, I'm not selling stuff anymore. I kind of stopped because I can't focus. Maybe one day. But I've just relaxed.
Hashtag shameless plug.
It's not even on my website. My website, I deleted it.
So you're showing it and no one can buy it? What if someone wants to buy it? You're gonna
Then they can
hinder
DM
them?
me. They can send me a message and I'll
You
make
can
a custom one.
DM me for my own entrepreneurial success.
Yeah. I want to make some shirts that say different fun things. Like, one's gonna say,
It's
one's
gonna
gonna
say nothing.
say nothing. No, one is gonna say, I'm my target audience. And, like, I want them to say, or, like, throw your ass back today. Or, like, drink water. Like, I want them to say things that people kind of focus on. Because for those of us who do have ADHD, you focus, like, if I was just doing this the whole time in the video,
That's it.
somebody watching it would be just so distracted by the fact that I was doing this in the video. And you would be, like, listening kind of.
Dude, why are you doing that with your thing? With your
Yeah, like, if you started, they're probably, like, if they can see your plate right now, they're probably watching you eat this for the whole time. Like, when are they going to finish? Ever? Or,
Never.
and why did they eat off that? Like, you know?
I didn't get a plate.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna cut this here. Thank you for joining me today for Glass Half Full.
I love it.
The community Foolish Optimist.
I love it.
I'm really happy to see that you're in a calm journey. Like, my tone of voice is so low. It's low. It's like low right now because I'm so calm and relaxed.
Yeah, you're usually yelling at me.
Yeah, I'm usually like, oh my god, and then
Yeah.
like, no, I'm just pretty chill. This is pretty chill. I don't get to use
Welcome.
this voice that often,
Welcome.
so it's really nice.
Have a calm friend, everyone.
Everybody needs a calm friend. Or a Gemini.
Everybody hates Geminis.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything wrong. But
Okay.